How you going, everybody? For today's tech tip of the average garage, we're going to get greasy. I'm going to show you how to grease your nipples. I'm going to show you how to use grease nipples properly and how to grease a drive shaft properly, because a lot of people get this wrong. Now, a key component to greasing drive shafts is having a good ear, because you want to listen to it, and you also want to know the history, because you can over grease a drive shaft and you can pop seals out. So for your standard uni joint here, you're going to plug the grease gun on, you're going to pump, and you can just see, or at least I can just see, it's just come out of that seal there by a tiny little bit. That's all it needs. It doesn't have to be overboard. And then give it a quick wipe. Now we're going to move on to the what's called a slip joint, which is that piece in there. So the grease nipple is on the side here. So as before, you want to make sure the grease nipple is nice and clean. Now, some people will grease this until they hear a pop. In the older cars, you can do that. The newer cars don't usually let air out. So you just want to put 1, 2, 3. That's plenty. Now, the reason I say you want to know the history of your car is that if you put too much grease in this, it will pop the seal. That boot there, it will pop, or it won't pop, but it will push off, especially if there is any movement in the driveline. It will pop and bad things will happen. So last one for this front drive shaft, clean it. You hear that little crisp sort of noise. It's like lots of popping. That's what you want out of the uni joints. So we're going to move on to the rear shaft. So I don't know how well you can see on the camera, but up in there is the grease nipple. Now, you can't get a rag in there properly, so I'm just wiping the end of the grease nipple with my finger. That's it. 1.5 that one took. Now, this slip joint doesn't appear to have a grease nipple on it, on the rear drive shaft. So it must just be a sealed unit from factory. Sometimes they'll bleed back and weep through the nipple itself. That's fine, just wipe it up. Alright, so that quick tech tip is how to grease the grease nipples on your car. I've used the driveline as an example, so just the drive shafts, but sometimes there are more on suspension bushes. Anything that can pivot sometimes will have a grease nipple on it, but not all manufacturers do. Some ball joints will have grease nipples on, some are a sealed for life unit. So I hope that's helped you at least understand how the grease nipples work and what to avoid. Do not just pump them and pump them and pump them. They usually only need a couple of pumps at best. So yeah. Please, if you liked the video, hit the like button, drop a comment what you want to see me do next as a tech tip, and if I can help out, I'm sure I will. And please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button to stay up to date with more videos. Cheers, guys.